Now, as we continue with our rolling coverage on the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccine today, let's take you live now to Kempton Park. That's where our reporter Malungelo Booi is based this morning. Athi Mntongana is in Cape Town as well. She's outside the Biovac headquarters there in Cape Town. I think, Malu, let's begin with you. I think you're probably at one of the most watched places in the country this morning, certainly for our viewers that are tracking the story of vaccines arriving in South Africa, our first 1 million doses. What can you tell us about what we can expect today?
That's right, Michelle. In fact, when those doses arrived here in South Africa, they'll be received by the country's president, Cyril Ramaphosa, along with his deputy, David Mabuza, and the health minister, Dr. Zweli Mkhize. We also know that the High Commissioner of India will also be in the delegation that will be receiving those 1 million doses of the vaccines that are actually making their way, Michelle, as we speak to you, to South Africa. As South Africans, we first saw the images really of that consignment, Michelle, being loaded into those aircrafts. One of the aircrafts that was used is an Emirates aircraft. We saw those images online, and now we're expecting all of that really to unfold in front of our eyes in the afternoon. So when that consignment arrives, Michelle, what we know is that it will actually be taken to a warehouse. We're not sure where that warehouse will be, but we know though that Biovac is one of the companies that has been mentioned by government that it will play a key role in the in quality assurance of this vaccine, but also in the disseminating or distribution of this vaccine nationwide. We know, Michelle, already that about 1.2 million healthcare workers in this country will benefit from this phase. And also we know that before the end of this month, in fact, the country is expecting another 500,000 doses of the same vaccine that will be distributed in the country. Michelle?
Well, I think it's an important time to bring Athi Mntongana into our discussion, Malungelo. The issue of Biovac, as Malu just pointed out, Athi, being so central now to the quality assurance, the warehousing, and even the distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine. What do we know about this company, which previously was the only vaccine manufacturer in the country and one of only a handful on the continent?
For sure, Michelle, as I begin to explain to you when this company was established, I'm going to briefly move out of shot so South Africans can familiarize themselves with the name itself. We are in Pinelands, Michelle. This is the headquarters for Biovac. As you know, Biovac is a biopharmaceutical company that was formed in 2003. This company, Michelle, is basically a company that's in partnership between the government and private investors who saw it fit for the country itself to have a biopharmaceutical company that would be able to assist the country in as far as vaccines are concerned. So this time around, this company will, of course, ensure quality assurance as well as the distribution of the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is currently en route to South Africa from India. Those 1 million doses, Michelle, will be stored at one of the warehouses for Biovac. It is still unclear at this stage which warehouse of the Biovac company these vaccines will be stored. We know that their headquarters are here in Pinelands, in Cape Town. The CEO of the company, Michelle, Dr. Morena Makhoana, will be in OR together with the president, the deputy president, the Minister of Health, Dr. Zweli Mkhize, the High Commissioner for India, as well as he himself, the CEO of Biovac, will be welcoming those 1 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine. So it is still unclear in as far as where they will be stored. But we know that Biovac is the company that has been entrusted by government, formed in 2003. Once again, Michelle, a biopharmaceutical company in partnership between the government and private investors who saw it fit that South Africa would, at a particular point in time, need vaccines. So a lot of questions have been raised as to whether this particular company will be assisting the country in future to try and formulate and put into trial various vaccines. But for now, we know that they have been entrusted with the distribution and quality assurance of those AstraZeneca vaccines that are en route to South Africa.
And entrusted is the right word, isn't it, Malungelo Booi, as we wait and as we count down the hours there at OR Tambo International Airport. 2 p.m. is when the arrival of the vaccine is scheduled for those first 1 million doses. Plenty of discussion, Malu, around, the vaccines going where they are intended to. Hopefully we're going to hear more from the president and the deputy president himself, who also heads up government's vaccine rollout organization. Hopefully we're going to hear more detail about that today, Malungelo.
That's right, Michelle. In fact, it's quite interesting that our government would set up an interministerial committee that will look into the vaccine, its rollout, and also perhaps, the companies that will also be responsible in distributing these vaccines. But one of the things, though, Michelle, that we know for certain is that government has already asked provinces to provide master plans on how they will go about the vaccination program and also the distribution of these vaccines to various provinces. Bear in mind, Michelle, we're only here talking about the first phase. This first phase, it's only about healthcare workers, both in the public and the private sector. We know, for example, here in Gauteng, officials have said that in part of their distribution or vaccination program, what they would want to rope in, for example, are pharmacies to also play a part where people would go into pharmacies and get vaccinated against this virus. That's when, Michelle, we move into other phases of the vaccination rollout plan here in South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. The first 1 million doses, Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize telling us that we are expecting through various arrangements to have 40 million doses in our country before the end of the year. To both of our reporters, thanks very much for that update. Athi Mntongana is live to us in Cape Town. Malungelo Booi is live in Kempton Park.